All right, guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the regular show. First of all, I just want to say apologies for my absence. Obviously, I know there's been a big gap between episode 1 and episode 2. And to be honest with you guys, there's a lot of shit that went into podcasting, the editing. Took me hours for that first episode, and it sucked. But here we are today. Second episode with the first guest. Sal Heradia. Hey, dude, I really appreciate you coming over here tonight.
Man, it's an honor. Thank you so much. I'm new to the podcast world, so this is a great opportunity, great experience, and I'm just happy to be here.
Yep. So let me go into it first as to why I wanted to pick you for the first guest, right? And I know we were kind of talking about it through text over the past couple of days. Obviously, me coming from a military background, the word warrior gets thrown around a lot, right? And for me, warrior isn't a job, right? You don't have to be a gunfighter to be a warrior. I think warrior is more of a mindset, right? And
Absolutely.
obviously, I've known you for over 2 decades now, and you just always had that it factor to what you're doing now as a Muay Thai fighter. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the guests know a little bit about you and what you have going on right now. So you're born in California. However, you spent most of your life here. You played college baseball over there at Kenyatta College in Silicon Valley. Now you're a Muay Thai fighter and you do like juicing shakes on the side.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So I think with you, right, another reason why I wanted to have you on because I got to see. All right, by the way, for the audience, if you haven't figured it out, this is my older brother, right? So I've known him for years and years. So I've seen him pretty much on a day to day. And something Cell had that I relate to Warrior is just that it factor, that kind of aggressive. I mean, I'm sure you remember playing football. Like you would go at it with some freaking dudes. Like you were pretty, you were pretty out there. So yeah, I'm excited for this, man. So let's start from the beginning, right? You're my brother, yes. However, there was a time period where you were in California and I was in Texas for, we were separated for a number of years. So tell me about that, your childhood, California, and stuff like that.
So yeah, living in California, I was with my mom. She did the best she could to raise two boys, me and my other brother. But there's only so much that a mom can do to instill, masculine values in a kid. And when you're bouncing from school to school, state to state, it's hard to make friends. You're the outcast, the new kid. So I learned a lot of lessons there. But my mom did the best she could. But like I said, raising boys, you need to have a father in your life.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Because it was, I mean, how many years were you in California over there?
Man, at least more than five,
Yeah,
7, yeah.
yeah, it was a good chunk from what I remember, and I just remember like obviously dad would call you, and we talk on the phone and stuff like that. I just remember it being a real long time. So tell me more exactly, I guess, where you were at in California. What was that? What was that like over there? Because I know it wasn't. It was all right,
hmm
so to speak.
Grew up in the Bay Area, San Jose, California. Um, yeah, man. A lot of my family's out there, so got to see, the good side, the bad side. But
Yeah, I think my issue with California, right? And I have to bring this up because I just saw it on a video last night. What the fuck is it about gangbanging that is so appealing to fucking California? Because so I've been to California twice, and I got banged on, so to speak, as far as where the fuck I was from.
yeah,
And I'm like, bro, it's fucking at that time it's 2020. Like what the fuck are you guys doing? So what the fuck is it about California where they're like gangbanging's cool? Because they do it, dude. They do it like
yeah, they're
big
serious
time
about it.
over there.
Yeah, over there, you better watch what you wear, cause they'll
Yeah,
they'll roll up on you.
yeah. I to each their own, I guess. So California now, obviously where it's at now,
Hmm.
to now 20 years ago, what do you think the differences are? And do you think there is a difference?
Man, the biggest difference now is it's so gentrified.
Mm,
Um, eh, Man, you got to have money to live out there. Otherwise, they keep pushing you further and further north. Sacramento, Bakersfield, just because you can't survive in San Jose, the Bay Area, and really, yeah, it just there's no more culture to California. California used to be, the culture, the good food, the weather, and it's not that no more.
yeah, and I think it's really sad because California is great.
Hmm.
Like it could be great, beautiful state, obviously at north and south, which is totally different to where it's at now and the politics and you could be a millionaire and that is like the bare minimum in
Hmm.
California. I mean, I was looking at some house in LA that went viral. Um Shit house. It's a fucking shit house and it was going for 1 million. I don't understand that, but hey, we're not going to get into politics at all as far as why it is the way it is over there. So Texas, right, where you spent most of your life.
Hmm.
Um, what did you think about coming back? Because you moved to California at what age? 7, 8, maybe something like
Yeah,
that.
around there. It was kind of hard to say because I was back and forth a lot.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just when I was young, I was
yeah,
you
yeah,
know when you're a kid, a lot of that stuff just kind of all
yeah.
jumbles together and
Blends
it's
in.
one blur.
All right, so I kind of have to ask you something because I want to see if you remember. And this is, I believe it was when you came back to Texas permanently. We were already here. It was around Christmas time. Do you remember what happened that night over here in the driveway?
Oh, I do.
Go ahead and tell the audience your first day back in Texas, permanently living here around Christmas time. Tell them what happened that very first night.
Yeah, so first night in Texas, man, I this is where I figured out it's real out here. Um, you know, Winding down, getting ready for bed, and I hear some noises out in the driveway. Look out the window, and there's someone trying to break into our cars.
Yep.
And being a kid, you tell your brothers, you tell your dad, and we know our dad. He's not with that. He don't mess around. He saw the guy, grabbed a bat, one of those little t-ball bats, and he started chasing him.
Yeah. That little silver fucking T-ball bat that we
Yeah,
had. Yeah, I remember that night, dude. I just remember dad looking out the window and he pushed us to the side. He goes, "Watch out, watch out, watch out."
yeah,
Then he ran outside and you just hear cussing, yelling, all this shit. And obviously we were like, what the fuck has just happened?
yeah,
Well, I don't know if you remember, but he ran off that guy and then the guy came back, started going through the cars again. And then this is when dad got the bat, chased him, and then dude came back actually across the street
hmm,
and was going through their cars and
yeah,
they're yeah, that had to be a crazy introduction. It was so crazy because I was just talking about that story. I think was like one of our other brothers about it. Absolutely wild. You come to Texas within hours, something like this fucking happens. Absolutely insane. But now that I think about it, dude, our childhood, right, and I mean, we were just talking about it out here in the living room. We were wild.
yeah.
So tell me a wild story from your childhood here in Texas, or something funny that you remember.
Well, man, so talking about child, there's a couple ass whoopings that I still remember to this day. Like you said, we were kids being dumb. Back then, there wasn't cameras and phones, and so we could get away with a lot more stuff.
Yeah, I think unfortunately now, because if we go outside,
Hmm.
right, you don't see kids anymore. You don't see, if you remember the corner that we lived on, everybody, all the kids in the neighborhood came to the corner. We were playing baseball where the sewage, like entrance into the road was home plate. we'd make our own ding dong ditching, egging houses. Um, I remember one of our friends, Don Trell.
Mm-hmm.
me, me and Adrian were up on the roof, and I had the BB gun,
Uh-huh.
and we were shooting at his window because he's across the block. So we were able to touch him, and I remember we called him, "Hey man, what are you doing? You wanna jump on the PlayStation, man?"
Yeah.
He was like, "I can't right now. Somebody's shooting at my window." Dude, just absolutely insane, man. I think it's kind of sad to see now because I mean, how many kids do you see with fucking iPhones and iPads on them all day and they don't want to play outside?
Dude, kids nowadays don't even know how to ride bikes.
Yeah, I don't get it. And when I have kids, they will not be like that, right? I mean, even if we were inside, again, we were just talking about it out here in the living room, playing hide and seek, playing baseball, where
Mm-hmm.
we'd get, I don't know how many fucking things we broke trying to hit a fucking tennis ball in the
Yeah.
house, all this and that. Dude, just having a good time. And again, unfortunately, you don't see that as much anymore, which is sad. Um, but all right, so childhood, right? Great. Everything's great when you come back to Texas. What sport are you playing at this time?
At the time I'm playing baseball, man. Grew up playing baseball. And now that I'm here with my brothers, my dad, we can hit it hard, train hard. Obviously growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. So our entertainment was the park,
Yeah.
was, playing football.
Hmm.
At the time as a kid, you just think it's having fun. But as you get older, you're like, oh, the reason why we didn't go to Six Flags, we didn't go to Hawaiian Falls is we didn't have money.
Yeah. And for the audience, right, a little bit about us. It's Sel, then it's me, and then we have four other siblings. So there's six of us total, right? So that's for those of you that are parents, you kind of know that's a lot, right? And I don't see how they did it because, dude, by the time we got here and you guys were here, I mean, you got to think Dad was only 27, something like that. And I'm 27 now.
Hmm.
And could I see myself with six kids? Fuck no, dude. Absolutely not. And now that I think about it, Dad actually mentioned that the other day, going to a community park and throwing baseballs. Now that I think about it, that was so much more bigger than what it was. I miss those days, dude.
Yeah.
If I could go back and to what the childhood that we had, where we had a dad who was very open, like, hey, go do this, go do that. Half the shit that we did, you can't do anymore,
Hmm.
right? I mean, how many ding dong ditching, right? Used to be an innocent,
Yeah.
fun prank. Now kids are getting shot
Yeah.
for simply knocking on a fucking doorbell because people are trigger happy and they don't know how to handle guns, right?
Hmm.
Um, so you were playing baseball for a very long time, right? From t-ball essentially to college baseball, right? Kind of when did you how did and I know the answer to this, but how did baseball why did you start playing baseball?
Just fell in love with the game, man. Fell in love with the game at a young age. Loved watching it, loved playing it, the baseball cards, everything. Um, it became a part of me. At a sense, it became too much of my life where I loved the game so much that when I would fail or strike out or, have bad days, it would really affect me mentally. Everyone knows baseball is the most mentally challenging game.
So I'm gonna fast forward here a little bit. Do you remember the broken wrist incident
Yeah.
like I do?
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell them about that incident.
So it's high school, having practice, and we're doing this one drill where if you make an error, the whole team has to run laps around the field. And man, I don't know whether I'm in my head or I'm just having a bad day or what, but I kept making error after error after error, and the whole team had to run, not just me. It was the whole team. And so, man, I was beat. The team was beat. They were dogging on me. And man, I came home and I was still so full of rage that I just grabbed my hand, and just started beating the floor as hard as I could. And yeah, I felt better afterwards. Uh, but I didn't realize that I ended up breaking my hand, getting a boxer fracture. And I should have grabbed a bat and just hit a tree or something. But you just at that age, you're young, you're dumb, and just full of so much rage.
Dude, and I remember I was in the living room when you did. I just remember you hitting it, and then you hit it one last time, and you were like, "Oh fuck!" And then I was like, then you stop, and you're like, "Oh fuck!" You're kind of whispering to yourself, and then I go to dad. I'm like, "Hey, you might wanna check on Sal. I think something happened in the room." He's all right. Dad goes in there. You okay? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And then you actually hid that injury for a number of weeks. Do you
Yeah.
remember how long? It was a long time.
Yeah, it had to been at least a month I had the injury. I still played with it. I didn't play good, but I still played with it. And it came to a point where I couldn't hold the bat no more. And I said, okay, I got something's wrong. I gotta tell my dad what happened.
And again, for the audience, the whole theme behind this was warrior and just having that mentality. So you're starting to get a glimpse into that right now, right? But yeah, I remember that was so crazy because I remember the doctor saying if you would have just came to us, we could have popped it back into place. But you actually got surgery.
Hmm.
If I remember, you got surgery on that, and you were out for a little bit. Um, Absolutely wild. Just a funny story. But baseball, as far as did you know that you were going to go to college in California to play baseball, or not yet, or was that your goal? I guess.
Yeah, I always wanted to go back to Cal. Yeah, I did want to go do college in California just to get that diploma, put it on the wall, and say,
Yeah.
yeah, I went to Santa Clara or Stanford. Obviously I didn't go to the big schools, but I wanted something like that. So I kind of always knew, but I didn't know where the road would have taken me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely get that. Because I know you guys were again, like you said, bouncing back. Specifically, like in the later years, bouncing back and forth between California and Texas. Um, but yeah, dude, I just remember, dude, we were always at the park. But then you got to think, two of our other brothers also play baseball,
Yeah.
so we were also going to practice for them, making our own practices. I mean, I remember Dad taking the 5 gallon bucket and just filled with baseballs, and we'd go out there and play baseball. And then obviously out here, dude, we were always doing something sports wise. And I just remember that being a very busy time for the entire family. So you enter high school, right? How was that baseball experience for you?
Uh, I mean, I was never one of the popular kids. I played sports, so I was around them. Um, so it was cool. I got to interact, but I did wasn't at that level, skill wise, to be to be up there, with the jocks and stuff.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I didn't really kind of find my flow in baseball until college. I think a lot of it just comes down to mindset. I was a shy, awkward kid, and I was in my head a lot.
Mm.
And being in my head so much, I think that's what really affected my game. It affected how I was able to interact with people, and I was just more so kind of scared to say something wrong. And I wanted everybody to like me,
Mm.
but you realize as you get older, everyone's not gonna like you,
Yeah.
and who cares?
Yeah.
Just live your life.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I agree with that. However, specifically with the school that we went to, because I mean we were going to high school together.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like part of it, which some of our younger brothers also got to experience, was that head coach. I'm not gonna say his name. Um, I don't know if he's still there. I don't know if he's still there or not. He favored a lot of different players, and he had a son that was also going to that school that made the team that shouldn't
Hmm.
have made the team. What was your experience with that coach, and did you see anything like that at your time over there?
Yeah, man. it's real sad because that coach specifically made me lose the love for the game. I eventually refound that love later on in life, but yeah, man, like you said, he played favorites. He didn't give people equal opportunities, and at the end of the day, we're just playing a kid's game, and we're there because we love the sport. We want to work hard. We want to win, and he took that love for the game out of me. And as a coach, as a trainer, as a doing any type of role where people look up to you, your goal should be to inspire them, to get them better, and to make them want to pass that knowledge on to the next generation.
Yeah.
And so it was heartbreaking that he was able to take the love out of the game from me, but it built me to who I am today. And I could look back and say, man, this part sucked, but at the end of the day, it's God's plan, and He put certain challenges and struggles in your life to make you who you are today.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And so for the audience, right, there was a baseball coach at the school that all of us went to, right? All the brothers went to. And he was very controversial. He played favorites big time. I think he was like in a church um, like group, and a lot of the players, coincidentally enough, were also in that church circle, right? And I mean, not to be biased or anything, but I feel like Sel and then our one of our younger brothers should have made the team, and I don't understand that because even with one of our other brothers, right? He has been playing all his life and he's good. He's always been good. And then when he got to East, it was like, you're not good enough. And I didn't, so I'm not gonna, I remember calling when one of them didn't make the team, and I called the fucking lead, whatever the fucking school guy is,
Mhm.
superintendent or whatever the fuck. I was like, hey man, look into this guy because and I think even the team also felt that certain people shouldn't have made the fucking team,
Yeah.
like his son.
Mhm.
Again, favoritism, but yeah, man, it's just sad because I think coaching now is more important than anything, right? Like I know a lot of guys, not just you, but that had a bad coach that it took the love of the game out of them, and that's sad to see
Mhm.
because if you stuck with it right the entire time and he actually gave you a shot, who fucking knows where you could have been? Obviously, that school at that point in time did have a fucking great baseball team, and I think now, well, I don't think I know he's in. You remember Braden Shoemake?
Yeah, bro. He's
Yeah,
in the league now, doing his
yeah,
thing.
yep. Houston Astro now, and
Mhm.
I don't know where Garrett McCain went. I know he was playing minor league, and then
Yeah.
he got called to fuck Detroit. I don't know, something like that. But a lot of great baseball players, a lot of great hitters on that team that eventually went to college. And now that I think about it, dude, that school was good for sports because you
Yeah.
got to think our
Baseball, football,
yep
track,
soccer,
soccer.
yeah,
Yeah. We had some athletes are born in Texas, man.
yeah, dude. It was so when I was a freshman entering that school, right off the rip, boys soccer, girls soccer championship, state
Mhm.
championship. We had state championship wrestlers. Our football team was doing great. The track team, the cross country team, everybody was doing great. And then our baseball team went really far,
Yeah.
right? That's just so crazy, man. I hope coaches like that get exposed eventually. Again, I'm not going to say his name because that was several years ago, but it ties into his story and where he's at now. So let's fast forward to senior year, right? You're done playing baseball. You officially graduated. So when did California and moving to play college ball over there appear in your head? When did that start for you?
After I graduated, man, I was just working some dead end jobs, working at restaurants, doing double shifts, and yeah, the money was okay, but at the end of the day, I knew, man, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to this. Um, just working these jobs, going from place to place, it wasn't fulfilling, and I needed something a little bit more, I don't know, more passionate. And even though school didn't really know what I wanted to do, I knew that it would at least steer me in the right direction.
Yeah. No, I got you for sure. Because you left immediately after senior year.
Hmm.
Now you're playing ball out there. How was the transition going from Texas high school baseball to now you're playing in California baseball? How was that kind of transition there for you as an athlete?
About the same, man. California's got some ballers too. Texas, California, Florida. I mean, these are the three big states where some good athletes. But being from Texas, being used to the heat, being used to the grind, the two a days during summer camp, it was a smooth transition. Um, I got more opportunities to showcase myself, and being being out there for a little bit, I was still able to jive with the players. Wasn't like this country boy coming out there.
Yeah.
So it was cool, man. It was a great experience, and shout out to Kenyatta because we had some good times out there.
So I don't mean to back up a little bit. Me and you actually worked together
Yeah.
at a certain point in time,
Hmm.
Little Caesars. And I know a good friend. You remember Oscar?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah, yep,
swole
exactly.
dude.
He'll see this because I'll tell him. But so me and Sal actually used to work at a Little Caesars, and I always tell people this: if Little Caesar, if they paid great and you could make it a lifelong career, I'd be working there right now, dude. That job,
Oh,
dude, so fun, so fucking fun. Like, first of all, we all went to school together.
mm-hmm.
And if you didn't go to the same school, it was pretty much half and half. The school down the road or us.
Yeah.
We're all friends. Nobody had beef. Dude, I remember we'd make dough and throw it at each other like frisbees. We'd Do you remember the movie trailer that we made? Hot and Ready Boys?
Oh, yep. Hot and ready, boys.
Dude, I still have that in my phone. And I'll share it with Alex, Philip, and then now Oscar, which I'll let him know where to watch at. But I remember, who was it? Marvin that was dating a girl named Samantha,
Mm-hmm.
and we had so one of the coworkers was dating a girl named Samantha, and she ended up breaking his heart really bad. So we had a fuck Samantha day, and I think that's so funny because then in the city that I lived in Tennessee when I was out there was a street sign
Mm-hmm.
named Samantha Street. And I took a picture of it and I sent it to Marvin. And I was like, to this day, fuck Samantha. Dude, that job was so fun, man. It was the best job that I ever had. And that's so crazy to see. Again, it was just fun. It was all high school kids trying to make a quick buck. Chong. I know.
Real,
Dude,
real quick, not to cut you off, man. One of my favorite stories from that job is so obviously people would call in orders for pizza,
yeah.
and you answered the phone. Hey, this is so and so. Thank you for calling Little Caesars. Well, as soon as someone would pick up that phone, we'd be right behind them and smack them on the butt as hard as they could. And they're on the phone, so they got to stay professional. And it's you hear their voice get real squeaky. Oh man, so it came to a point where nobody wanted to answer that phone.
Dude, we were fucking wild. We were doing stupid shit. Um, Ordering Domino's to bring it to Little Caesars. Fucking, fuck, dude. We were doing so much at that job. And it was so fucking, we were like wrestling matches in the back,
Yeah,
building forts out of the like
the
boxes.
boxes of dough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, all this shit, dude. It was such a fun job and I miss it. But again, this just goes back into kind of what we had, and we didn't realize that those years were going to be the fucking best years of our life, where we didn't have to grow up, we didn't have any bills, we didn't have to worry about life or careers, and we were just living in the moment. Actually, I talked to Oscar a couple of weeks ago. I called him, and he's down to hang out. So after this, I'll give him a shout out, and we'll all hang out and see where we're at now
yeah,
in life, which I'm very curious to see where we're all at now in life. But
yeah.
yeah, I'll send you the Hot and Ready Boys
Okay.
freaking movie trailer that we did.
Yeah,
But
there's some other great stories that I would love to tell you guys, but for legal reasons, we'll just keep it to ourselves.
yeah, guys, trust me, it was a wild time to be at that Little Caesars where we live at. All right, so tell me about your first college baseball game. Kind of what, obviously, you had the experience here with the coach and everything that happened, and that went into that from pushing you out of baseball to now you're playing in college. Tell me, what was the mindset, and did you feel like you needed to prove something?
Yeah, man. My coach had a saying that sticks with me to this day, and he says, "You're only as good as your next performance." So obviously, yeah, there's 60 games in baseball season. You do good, you want to play good, but at the end of the day, it's it's what can you do for me right now?
Yeah.
And you know, so you could hit a home run one game, but if you're down bad the next, they're gonna pull you.
Mhm.
So that taught me to, man, you got to be sharp, you got to be training hard, and just you got to ride the wave. When it's doing good, enjoy it. When you're doing bad, just find a way to pick yourself back up and get back on the high horse.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I totally forgot to mention this about high school, but you actually wrestled in high school. Where,
1 year.
where, where did that come from? Right. Cause this ties into your Muay Thai story of
Yeah.
what I'm going to ask you later. Where did, out of all things, wrestling come from?
Man, to be honest, I'm not really sure because I wasn't into UFC just then. So I missed the prime Rampage days,
Yeah.
the Chuck Liddell, Caneville. I missed those days. I came into UFC later, like when Connor and Nate Diaz fought.
Hmm.
So I was late to the game. Um, I don't know, man. Maybe it was my dad. My dad was a wrestler.
Hmm.
Maybe it was wrestling at the house with you guys. Or maybe it was just being skinny and you're like, you know what? I need to figure out how to pick somebody up and slam them.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Coach over there was great.
Yeah.
And I mean, since we've been gone, they've had a couple state placers and state champions over there. So pretty cool to see. But anyways, yeah. So do you remember how you performed in that first college baseball game? Was it um, did the nerves kind of get to you? Do you kind of remember what your performance was like on your first game?
Yeah. Actually did really well first game.
Nice.
I don't know. A lot of times when the stakes are high, I kind of rise to the occasion. Ended up hitting two triples.
Nice.
But it was a transition from high school to college. It went from metal bats to wood bats,
Mhm.
and I didn't have wood bats, so I had to use a teammate's, and ended up breaking one of his wood bats. And from that day on, man, he hated me.
Oh yeah.
He hated me, and I didn't know. I didn't know how it goes. If you break someone's bat, you gotta buy him a new one.
Hmm.
And so he had it out for me until I said, "Hey, man, I ain't got the money to buy you a bat, but maybe I'd take you out to lunch or something."
Yeah, it balances out.
Yeah.
All right. So all 4 years there. Obviously, you're a student, right? Student athlete. That's
Mhm.
their whole thing. What was that college lifestyle like, and do you have any funny stories from your freshman year?
Dude, there's so many stories. So okay, start off. The baseball field's right here. The soccer field's right next to it, and then the training room's right here. So we're all baseball, soccer. We're all connected. Oh, and the field house is here. So we're all connected. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody messes with everybody. So obviously, baseball practice goes. We train, but afterwards, I think this is where I really got my start in fighting. We had a thing called CFC, which stands for Kenyatta Fight Club. And after baseball practice, coach would let us hit in the batting cages or get extra work where we need. And then everyone would leave. Coaches would leave. And this core group, which we were called the Third Eye Group, we started a group. And basically we would get on the baseball field, all turf, and we would wrestle. We'd have matchups. All right, you wrestle him, he wrestles him. And it became a big thing where we even had belts. It was WWE belts. And shout out to Nash. He beat me for the championship belt. But yeah, I'm ready to run it back anytime.
Yeah, especially now, right
Yeah.
now. That's fucking crazy, dude. I remember basic training. Um, obviously going through the army and stuff like that, we had we had a fight club,
Yeah.
and the way we would do it was in the bathroom, right? So the bays are like really long bays,
Uh-huh.
and then drill sergeants are right here. They have their office and their table, but on the opposite side is a bathroom, and it's a big like bathroom
Yeah.
that they got showers in there, and it's like a whole bunch of walkways. We'd always have fight clubs in there. So this is where I go into later. I don't like fighting. I get so nervous whenever I fight. I've only fought in one tournament for the army, which we'll get into later.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't like it. I will. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been in tons of little skirmishes and bar fights and my fair share of outside stuff, but I don't. I don't think I could even whether it was amateur or a makeshift fight club. I don't think I can do it.
Hmm.
Honestly, we'll get into later, but crazy, right? You get a whole bunch of fucking dudes together and see what the
Yeah.
fuck happens. Like, dude, I mean, how many times did we fight as a kid?
Oh, dude,
All
all the
the
time.
brothers or even dudes from other neighborhoods,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if you remember one incident where our friend over here,
Yeah.
she had a truck
Mm-hmm.
and some kids were trying to start a problem. So what did we do? We chased them down with the truck and we were all in the bed of the truck.
Yep.
So just very aggressive, dude. So you're how was the college experience for you? Coming from just as far as education, being in class, how was it going from Texas school to now you're in college in California? How was that experience like?
I want to say California schools were a little bit harder, education wise.
Mhm.
I think I made it all the way up to trigonometry for math,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, or statistics. And yeah, man, it was tough. Honestly, if it wasn't for baseball, I probably would have dropped out. But that was just that little bit of thing to be like, hey, man, pass your classes, keep going.
Mhm.
So wasn't really a big school guy, but I did it because I wanted to play ball.
And what were you getting your degree in?
Interpersonal studies, social and behavioral science.
Nice. Okay. So you're going through all this, right? You're having fun. You have something to prove. Um, let's fast forward to your junior year, where you're kind of you're a senior guy on the team at the school. What's going through your mindset as far as baseball? Is it something you wanted to possibly continue into, let's say, what AAA team? I think they are. Um, like, what was your goal after that? If that makes sense.
Yeah, man. Obviously, the goal was to always go pro.
Mm,
Um, but so that year is when COVID happened.
mm,
So COVID kind of screwed my season up, and I didn't get to showcase my talents the way I wanted to. And I could have kept playing afterwards, but I just kind of saw that as a sign, like, all right, this is where the chapter closes. And I wasn't sure what was going to come next. I enjoyed my time there, but I don't know whether that was, divine knowledge or God talking to me, but I just knew, all right, this chapter's closed. Time to move on to the next.
yeah, absolutely. With college teams, you were, I'm assuming, traveling a lot. I guess, what was the experience like in a season where you're traveling to other states or and within California? What was that experience like?
The thing that sticks out the most is so we're all, in a bus all together. You're driving on the highway, and the memories that hit my mind is just looking out at the highway, seeing the big buildings and just thinking, damn, like I could be at work right now. I could be, doing this, but I'm getting to play baseball. And that was just it's an awesome feeling, man, because at the end of the day, life is short. And the biggest thing is I didn't want to just be a 9 to 5 or come home, drink a beer.
Mm,
I always wanted something a little bit more just to add some pizzazz to my life,
yeah. No, I got you. Did you know that you were going to come back to Texas already, or was it after you graduated that you knew that you were going to come back?
Uh, Kind of ties back to COVID. COVID was the big thing that like brought me back out here. I knew my dad was here, my family was here. But California started getting real strict. You got to get the shot, the vaccine. You need this. You can't come into this establishment. and it wasn't jiving with my life. And I knew, all right, this is it. It's time to go back. And I knew this is before everyone started moving out here.
Mhm.
So there was still a lot of great opportunities, and I just jumped on the ship when it was hot.
Yeah. Yeah, and dude, COVID was so I was overseas at the time when COVID hit, and I actually deployed again during COVID a few months after I just gotten back. That was a wild time, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've seen the viral videos like whatever highways are in LA, major in California, where they're just dead.
Hmm.
No fucking no cars, no people. And then what you started to see is specifically California was quarantined for so long
Hmm.
that the animals actually started to come back. So you'll see deer, all these different kinds of animals, like just essentially kind of taking back over was what was once theirs, right?
Yeah.
And I remember getting back from overseas, and you know planes coming down on the tarmac, and there was no cars. And El Paso's a pretty big city. I
Oh
think
yeah.
people underestimate like how big El Paso is, but there was no cars, and I didn't really know that the world stopped. So that was a crazy point in time, dude. California, though, I don't know what it is about California and their politics, but they had some of the strictest.
Hmm.
I mean, shutting down businesses,
Yeah.
and obviously that puts a financial hardship on the owners and stuff like that. Or Texas does things differently, as you can see. Texas was one of the first places to reopen things and kind of lower those standards. Texas and Florida were kind of going hand in hand with each other. But yeah, dude, that was just a crazy point in time, especially to be a college athlete. Where unfortunately now, again, something kind of halts you
Yeah.
of what your goal wanted to be, right? So senior year, right? You remember your final baseball game? I guess I don't know if you played after COVID still or what those rules were like, but do you remember your last game?
I don't remember my last game to say, but a game that does stick out is when we beat our rivals. Don't remember their name, Ohana or something. Basically, we beat them, and I just remember going the team going crazy,
Yeah,
man. And we're jumping up and down. We're acting stupid, rubbing it in their face. I don't know if that I don't think that was my last game per se, but that's the game that sticks
yeah,
out to
yeah.
me.
It's always good beating your rivals. Obviously, we went to a school where we had the crosstown showdown
Yep,
and all that good shit, and that's
it's a
a
big thing.
big deal, man. Especially with specifically maybe probably basketball too, but I only know kind of football
Football,
and baseball because that's been around,
yeah.
you know, our family forever. I mean, one of our younger brothers played football for East. I played football, and one of our other brothers played football, and then we had one brother that didn't play any sports.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, it's always a good feeling to beat your rivals. You're with the team, and I feel like that's what I miss about sports, right? Obviously, where you're at now. So, where you're at now as a Muay Thai fighter, do you feel kind of like that brotherhood again?
Absolutely. So my gym's it's a fair. It's been around for a while, but the fight team is fairly new. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm the leader per se,
Hmm.
and obviously I could have went to different gyms with more higher ranked fighters and surrounded myself in those type of environments. But from day one, I wanted to help build a team.
Hmm.
And slowly but surely we're getting there. It's hard, man, with fighters, man. They're a different breed.
Oh yeah,
They're in and they're out. It's hard to keep them locked in for a long period of time. Um, but at DFW Combat Co, now we're starting to build the team. We're putting Dallas, Texas on the map.
yep,
And yeah, man, it's just I'm just trying to do my part to help lead the next generation of fighters.
yeah, absolutely, man. I've scrolled through their Instagram a couple times. Obviously, you've had a couple fights, looked at that stuff. So, just all right, just out of curiosity, this is where my previous question kind of comes into play as far as you wrestling. You come back to Texas, right? You're here. Um, when did the thought of Muay Thai come into your head, and why Muay Thai? Out of all the sports, why Muay Thai?
So that time I started getting real big in UFC, man. Every weekend
Yeah,
I'd grill and watch UFC.
yeah,
I don't care whether I had people over or it was just me.
mm,
I'm watching UFC. And it came to a point where I watched it so much that I was like, dude, I could do that shit. And little did I know, man, there's a lot that goes into it.
yeah, dude. Yeah, man. It's I mean, well, even growing up, right? I mean, we had a dad who was in karate, kickboxing, wrestling was a big one. UFC was always on.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember when he like taught us the freaking? At that time, we called it a chokehold,
Yeah.
but a rear naked choke. He taught us that, so we were always running around trying to get each other,
Yep.
all that stuff. So you're watching UFC and you're thinking, I can do that, right? Do you remember your first day in the gym when you actually went up to them and said, "Hey, like, I want to start training here"?
Yeah. So I didn't know what Muay Thai was at the time, but I looked up a gym in my area and they offered Russian Sambo.
Mm,
So actually that's where I got my start in Sambo.
yeah,
And Muay Thai it's a lot about respect, honor, dignity. But when you go to Sambo or MMA, these type of sports, man, they just beat the shit out of you.
yep, uh huh, yep,
And first day, I remember, man, they gave it to me.
mm-hmm,
They didn't care that it was my first day. And I lived on the third story of an apartment.
mm-hmm.
Dude, walking up them stairs that next day, it was terrible.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about that style of fighting. I mean, obviously, look at the fighters that have come from that
Hmm.
sport. You got all these Dagestanis, all these Russians, these Eastern kind of European
Yeah,
people
the
that come from.
Caucasus region.
Yep. Like, dude, what the fuck are you guys on? And then you take a look at the camp in Dagestan that Habib's at and
Yeah,
stuff like that. And you're like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck are you guys on right now? Like they're but then you have to really think Dagestan and Russia is a hard, hard country
hmm,
to come up to. So they already have this mentality. Chechnya, like all the wars
yeah,
that they've been through, the current war in Ukraine, like you have to kind of grow up hard and then you get this hard sport, which is absolutely insane. So how long did you stick with that before you crossed over to Muay Thai?
I want to say about 6 months. So actually, I was coming in for a practice, a Sambo practice, and none of the teammates, none of the coaches told me that there was no practice that day.
Mm,
So I'm walking around the gym looking like an idiot. And shout out to this Cambodian guy comes in and he says, "You training?" I said, "Yeah, I'm here for Sambo." He said, "Oh no Sambo, Muay Thai." And I was like, "Whoa, what's that?" He's like, "Come find out." And he had me take his class, and it was a lot of kicking the heavy bag, punching, a lot of stuff like that. And man, I was hooked. I was like, dude, this is awesome.
Dude, I remember I highly underestimated Muay Thai with their kicks, man. Um, Try doing 10 body kicks like really fast and see how fast your cardio is tested. Absolutely tough sport. So you walk in, Cambodian guy hooks you up, right? You're training. At this time, did you want to train to like train, or were you already in the mindset of I want to train to get better to fight?
Yeah, I was definitely in the mindset trying to get better to fight. When I first started, didn't have a lot of technique, didn't know too much, but I always had that dog to say.
Mm,
And within 3 months of me training Muay Thai, he hooked me up with my first fight.
nice. And how did that go for you?
It was good, man. It was a good fight. I fought hard. Kid was game. Obviously, being new to the game, I didn't know how to pace,
Hmm.
so I gassed out on that third round. Gave him two hard rounds. In that third round, man, I had nothing left,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he ended up getting the victory. But it was a good experience.
nice. So before that, obviously the fight starts well before, right? You register or you fight. What you're at what 55? You're fighting at 55 lightweight, I guess, for Muay Thai.
45,
45.
but I'll fight any 45, 50.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman just fought, and he said he's a money weight,
Yeah.
and I said, man, I like that. You know, wherever the matchups are, I'll go.
Dude, yeah. Well, it was funny because I was watching that fight last night. He used to be a monster.
Yeah,
However, I think,
that head kick changed him.
yeah, I think it's time for him to retire.
Yeah,
He kind of did his thing, you know. He's being compared to George St. Pierre and all that stuff. I think, yeah, he's a little old now. You got to
yeah.
retire. But so you're at one of the lighter weights, right? Um, did you have to like cut any weight for that first fight? Did you have to do anything like that? I mean, I'm sure you did, but was it as, I guess, strict as it is like now with your most previous fights?
Back then I was still fairly skinny, so it was pretty easy. Now I'm starting to build into my man body and
Mm,
putting on a lot more muscle, and so now it's getting harder to cut that much weight.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, I'm a professional,
Yeah.
and we don't miss weight, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely respect that, right? As a professional, because how many times do you see guys miss weight by a lot?
Hmm.
And I don't understand that because even you now, like even after the championship fight, like you were already back to running 10 miles, right? Like you were already back on the grind.
Hmm.
I feel like now with MMA fighters, Muay Thai fighters, wrestlers, they don't see it as a lifestyle, but it is a very much so lifestyle. That's why I know like Joe Rogan mentions it, right? He hates weight cutting and it's dangerous. Don't get me wrong, it is. However, you're a professional.
Hmm.
You're supposed to maintain the standard all year round
Yeah.
because you could get called at a moment's notice. Hey man, do you want to take this fight? So at least you're somewhat in the area already of being there. Um, do you remember that first fight, the walkout? What were you feeling? What was going through your head as you were entering, I guess, the ring?
So first fight, surprisingly, I wasn't really nervous. But what I do remember from my first fight was that I was almost, and I haven't really been able to replicate this in any other fights, but I was almost in a flow state
Mm,
where people showed me the videos afterwards, and I was like, "Damn, that was me."
mm,
It almost felt like I was watching myself from above, and I wasn't thinking. It's just the muscle memory, the mechanics, everything's just flowing, and yeah, man, it was just like it's almost like an out of body experience where like your higher self just takes over,
mm.
and you just let all the training, all the preparation just do the work for you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I can kind of sorta relate to that, right? That flow state that you talk about, and that's rare
Hmm.
for a lot of people, especially your first fight.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't. I think a lot of people would be nervous, right? Like I know how I get when it comes to altercations. Your head's spinning. Everything's you get that tunnel vision. You're
Yep.
nervous. You feel like you want to throw up and stuff like that. All right, so you're in this fight, right? Bell rings. Do you remember, I guess, the first punch he landed on you, the first leg kick, and what was your thought of like, oh shit, like okay, like this is real? What was your thought behind that?
So actually watched it back a couple of days ago. When you're in the moment, you don't really feel too much. I just remember head going back, getting hit with something, and thinking, okay, like we got to fight now.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, in the moment, too much, you don't really feel too much pain. It's just my biggest thing with my first fight was learning to have a poker face.
yeah,
I'm very emotional uh, when when I fight and when I'm out there in the normal life.
yep,
So learning to have a poker face, stay calm, has been the biggest thing. Because I mean, they could land something good, but if your head doesn't move back, if your face doesn't show it, sometimes the judges don't see it.
yep. Yeah, no, I agree for sure. I don't know what makes you think like, oh, I want to come back to the sport. Like, oh, here we go. Yeah. So, first army tournament that I fought in, it's a little bit different. First round is um, submission only,
Hmm.
so it's just grappling. Second round is pancray. Third round, I forget. I think it's still pancray, and then you go into the cage.
Hmm.
I fought 3 times, lost in the semis. I don't think I should have lost, but anyways, he landed a body kick on me,
Mhm.
and you kinda already know how that feels, like, you get
Yeah.
that kinda sharp pain in your stomach, and I remember thinking in my head, I felt it, like, I he kicked me hard, and I just remember thinking, like, "Oh god, dude, I gotta get this to the ground
Yeah.
ASAP," and I did multiple times, almost submitted the guy fucking, like, 8 times, but we were wearing shin guards, so I tried to hook him up for a triangle,
Yeah.
and apparently it's really hard to get a triangle, with some shin guards on.
Yeah.
But no, it was a cool experience, but I remember, like, even the first fight that I had, um, I knew I was gonna beat this guy. Like, I just knew it. But the anxiety, the head spinning, I felt like I was gonna throw up.
Mhm.
Like, "Oh, shit, this is really happening, I'm nervous." And then it turns out that this kid that I thought was gonna be an easy win was not an easy win. He was the entire round full throttle. Just go, go, go. Obviously, that fucked with me mentally. I was like, "Oh, shit, I'm gonna lose this fight." Then I thought, "No way." He took a shot on my legs. I wrapped up his neck, flipped him, and then landed on top and got him in a choke. But yeah, I remember that. I was like, I never want to fight Muay Thai. Fuck this. That hurts. I don't want to do this. I'd rather do jujitsu all
Yeah.
day. Jujitsu and wrestling, I'll take it all day. But Muay Thai, you have to be a special kind of person to willingly sign up for, in my opinion, the toughest combat sport mentally, right? Because you got UFC, you got,
Mhm.
or sorry, MMA rather, where you can clinch against the cage and hold them there. You can wrestle. You can do jujitsu, but with Muay Thai, you can't. It's just straight fucking grind in each other, and whoever lands, lands, right? So you're done with that fight. What's going through your head at this point in time? Is it something that you knew you wanted to continue? And what were your kind of takeaways from that fight?
Yeah. So with fighting, man, it's the highest highs and the lowest lows. A lot of people can't sleep the night before a fight because they're so they're so nervous and anxious. But with me, man, it was the night after the fight.
Mm.
I still had so much adrenaline. I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like everybody's cheering me on. Um, yeah, it's a great experience. Everybody's cheering for you. You're the only one in the ring. At the end of the day, it's a team sport, and I couldn't be here without my team. But just the feeling, just someone said, so you got Dustin Poirier, right?
Yeah,
That's teasing. He's coming back out. He's retired. This and that.
it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's
It's
gonna be
gonna.
bad. Um, but I think at the end of the day, he did. Yeah, he might miss fighting, but he misses the high of it. Everybody getting riled up behind you. And that's what it is, man. He's just. It's not so much. I mean, yeah, I love the fight, but it's everything that comes with it that makes this sport so awesome.
And I think that is a clear difference between combat sports and regular sports. Now, don't get me wrong, football is great, baseball is great, but I feel like there is such this special passion in any combat sport, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai,
Hmm.
boxing, where you're literally putting your heart, not just your heart and soul and mentality, but your spirit.
Yeah,
There's something about that spirit that you cannot find in other sports, right? And I absolutely love martial arts. I love to train it and stuff like that. But there's something special about, especially when your teammates going up to fight, you're in a combat situation. That love that you have for the sport and that person. I mean, you got to think, like, you guys are punching each other in the face,
hmm,
making each other bleed, testing each other in a positive way,
yeah,
right? In a positive way. And then what are you doing after? You're weight cutting together. You're eating right together. You're doing the cardio, you're doing the road training, and that separates, you know, that sport from every other non-combat sport. And that's absolutely what I loved about it. So, you're going through this, and I got to ask, you're right in the highest high right now. You just had a championship fight, which we'll get into here a little bit later.
hmm.
Was it always a goal to hey, I want to get a belt, or I want to do this, do that. Was that in the back of your head, or were you just doing it more so for, I guess, the love of the game, if that makes sense?
Selfishly, yeah. I've, obviously the belts, the accolades, we want it all. But as I got deeper and deeper into my journey, um, I realized that Jesus Christ put fighting in my heart, and he allowed me to be on a bigger stage. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to glorify His name, push people to Christ, and some people may never enter a church. They might, and maybe a fight is the only thing they go to, and after a fight, you get a few seconds to talk about it afterwards, and I just want to do my part to help push people to Him. So that's kind of why I fight now. I try not to obviously, there's a lot of stuff that comes with it, and the spotlight's on you, but at the end of the day, I just try to push the spotlight back onto Him.
Yeah. So when did the thought of, hey, this is so much more bigger than me, and talking about Jesus and that relationship with him and spreading that relationship, when specifically did that enter your mind? I guess let's put it in terms of, after my first fight, after my second fight, third. Let's keep it like that, like a reference point.
It's hard to pinpoint an exact moment. Um, Definitely sooner than previous. Because when I first started out, man, I was selfish. I wanted the glory. I wanted the
Mm.
girls. I wanted it to be all about me. But as just I guess maybe it's the dedication, the lifestyle that kind of helps um, push me in the right path.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that definitely makes sense. And I remember, I forget when this was, but we were having a family dinner. Fuck, I think this was a year or two ago. You had mentioned that, and this is when you kind of like were already very well into that Muay Thai world. You mentioned that. You said, "Hey, I was doing this, and I was worried about the girls drinking X, Y, and Z." And then I found God. We were talking about something. I forget what we were talking about, but you mentioned that, right? And that's great to see. And it's so funny because I was having breakfast a couple days ago, there by myself on my phone, and actually I had to get, I think that your wire over there in Mesquite. I
Hmm.
had to go to Mesquite to get that wire for the pod mic, but next to me was a guy complaining about how Texas, right? I don't know if it's just Texas or the entire country, where it is now mandatory to have the 10 commandments in classrooms, which I don't see a fucking problem with it,
Yeah.
right? I don't. We always will be, and we always have been, whether you're Christian, Catholic, Protestant, Baptist, whatever, whatever your choice is, but we always will be a country under Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should hide that. I think we need more people like you that say, this is my faith, this is what I believe in, and I'm here to spread the message.
Hmm.
And, I'll speak on this. I don't want you to speak on this, but now, specifically with Texas, we have other people trying to um, put their beliefs on us, and it's very obvious as to what they're trying to do. But when you speak about Jesus, or hey, we're going to put the commandments in every classroom, it's a problem now. And I will not understand that. And I think it's a fucking shame. There's other countries out there where it is strictly just that religion,
Hmm.
and if you follow Christianity or anything else, they will kill you.
Yeah.
So we need more people like that. We need more people with fucking balls, honestly, to do that. So absolutely love that you're doing that, man. Keep doing your thing. Like I said, we need more people like that, especially now. So all right, you're going in, right? You're with this gym. You're fighting. I know you've had multiple fights.
Hmm.
Let's skip to a fight, whether it was second or third. So you said the first one, you learned a lot, right? Did you take what you learned and put it into that second fight, or was it like, did it take you some time to kind of snap out of, hey, don't get too emotional, don't rush into your death? Tell me what that was like as far as putting those lessons actually into a fight.
Yeah, it definitely takes some time, takes some maturing growing up. Every fight, every fight camp, you learn a little bit something and you try to be smarter on the next one.
Mm.
But yeah, just like with anything, it takes time to learn, and sometimes you're hard headed, and you take a few other takes a few times getting hit to learn the lesson. Like something simple, like keep your hands up.
Oh God, dude, I don't know how many times I've seen coaches say, "Keep your hands up." Um, I personally don't keep my hands up for whatever fucking reason. So at in El Paso and then Tennessee, I had a very good friend of mine, longtime friend. By the time I met him, he's been boxing like 14 years.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, well, I'm coming from a Muay Thai kickboxing kind of style. Like, what's the difference? Like,
Yeah,
we're going to go hand in hand and it's going to go back and forth. It did not go back and forth.
yeah.
That's one thing he always taught me in the middle of sparring, keep your hands up.
Hmm.
And I remember one time, I did good one round. I did really good against him. I got cocky, so I put my hands behind my back, like at
Oh,
the start of the new round. And the thing about guys with good hands, man, they can close that distance so fast and you
hmm.
don't even know it happened. I kind of remember him throwing the jab, not really. But as he was throwing that jab to kind of just throw it out there and distract me, he was already coming with the right hand. Mind you, he's a bigger guy. He's probably like 220 at
Hmm.
that point in time. At that time, that was a few years ago, so I was probably like sitting around 155.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't see that right hand coming. Straight down the pipe. Boom. Hit me, dude. He hit me fucking hard. I stopped the round. I was like, hold on, bro. I was like, hold on, bro. I need a fucking break.
Yeah.
After that, the rest of the rounds, I was not the same. I was too paranoid. I didn't want to throw anything. But yeah, keep your hands up, man. That's a term that will never die.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about fighting, at that level where you're starting to get into that championship contender spot.
Hmm.
Keeping your hands up is very, very fucking important.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. When did this championship fight pop on your radar, and when did you know that you were a contender for this? How did that? Because it was a different promotion,
Hmm.
right? Than your own. How does that work? I guess them reaching out to you to fighting one of their fighters for the belt.
So it's actually kind of a funny story. Shout out to my girlfriend. She's my manager.
Yeah.
She does my meal preps. Honestly, I wouldn't be the fighter I am today without her. But she's the one that kind of reaches out, gets these promotions. Hey, I signed you up for this. So basically, she does all the behind the scenes stuff. Well, anyways, she signed me up for this promotion, and they're reaching out to her, talking to her, and then one of the guys reaches out to me, and he kind of rubbed me the wrong way the
Mm.
first time we talked.
Yep.
And then he reached out again, and kind of same thing. He kind of still was rubbing me the wrong way, and I basically just told him straight up, like as respectfully as I could. I was like, yeah, of course I want the fight. Like, why else would I sign? Kind of, I don't know, not being like a dick, but kind of being a dick.
Yeah.
And I guess he took it the wrong way, and he was like, all right, motherfucker, we got someone for you, the champ. And he's like, so you want that fight? Absolutely,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
I'm a fighter. I'm gonna say yes to everybody, and if it's for a belt, even better.
Absolutely.
So I kind of got that fight by talking shit to the promoter, and I guess he thought like, okay, we're gonna set this kid up to get knocked out,
Yep. Uh-huh.
but obviously we know that's not the way it went.
Yep, exactly. And was this the guy that we were talking about earlier? Was that
Not
him?
him, but it was the other guy
Oh, okay.
that was actually in his corner.
Okay.
So he co-owns that promotion.
Okay.
But yeah, it was the other guy.
Okay. And just for the audience, I'm sure you guys have seen on my TikTok stories and Instagram story and stuff like that. So Sal was part of a fight a few weeks ago now for a championship fight. Obviously, the champion being from a different promotion and him being from the promotion that he's at. In my opinion, right? From what I saw and now hearing it from his point of view, the most controversial championship fight in any sport, right? And I didn't know that he was kind of like setting you up for failure.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. I just knew, from the videos that I saw and things that I've heard, and obviously, I guess my little mini comment
Yeah.
to them. Um, do you feel comfortable me telling what promotion?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the promotion that I think is fucking shady is called Lone Star. It's Lone Star Promotions, right?
Lone Star Fight League.
Lone Star Fight League, right? And I know they're watching, and I know they're gonna watch. But I'm fair play. So before I share my opinion, we're gonna continue to talk about the lead up and the fight, and yeah, give them at least a fair chance before I jump before I jump in and say anything. So right, you're talking to this guy. He's talking shit. He's like, all right, you want somebody will fucking give you the champ.
Hmm.
Which, if you automatically have to go to the champ, personally, I feel like maybe your fighters aren't as good as what you think they are, right? Me personally, if I was a promoter, I would probably, yeah, I'd give you a fellow contender. I probably would do that, but for him to automatically jump to, well, we're just going to give you the champ, that lets me know that maybe your lineup isn't as good. And who fucking knows? I don't know any of those fighters over there, but again, that's just my personal opinion. So you accept the fight. How many weeks out before from that phone call to the fight were you?
They gave me a 5-week notice.
5 week notice. Okay, so how do you feel? I don't know how it is in Muay Thai. I don't know. I mean, I know you're very disciplined, so I'm sure that was plenty of notice. But how did you feel? Was that pretty fair?
Yeah, I'll give them that. Shout out to them because typically fight camps are anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. I like to run a 6-week camp for a 5-round fight, but five weeks is plenty of time.
Okay, perfect. So you're training, and this was 45, right? 45. What was your weight like at that phone call? Were you too far off, or were you relative? I know you're probably relatively
Yeah,
close.
I was pretty close. I actually didn't start blowing up until after this fight.
Yeah.
But at that time, yeah, I was right there.
Okay. Cool. So talk to me. All right. So let me ask you this: what's your opinion on weight cutting? Right? Because obviously now it's very controversial. I mean, you got dudes dying, you got dudes passing out on stage. What's your opinion on weight cutting?
Uh, it's kind of 50-50. Obviously, the Joe Rogan take where you should just fight at your natural weight. But at the end of the day, nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cheating, but at the end of the day, if everyone's doing it, then it kind of balances out.
Yeah.
So you know, it's just part of the sport. You can't get away from it. You got one championship that does the rehydration, and these motherfuckers they're still cutting weight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna stop weight cutting.
Yeah.
It's just it's a part of the thing. And if you know you're allowing yourself to get to 30, 40 pounds over, that's kind of on you, and if you had a bad weight cut, that is on you. I'm sorry to say it. So this training camp, right? I'm sure you guys watch film, kind of look into your fighter. This is where I'm going to go into. Did you already know who the opponent was? I guess because again, you kind of already know what I'm referencing to, which we'll get into here, like just before the actual fight. But did you know who he was?
Yeah, we had some film on him, and we were able to study that, pass it around to different coaches, and get different insights. So we had a good game plan going into this fight.
Okay, perfect. And how was that training camp for you? Everything goes smooth? I mean, from what I heard, it was pretty. I mean, it showed that it was a pretty good camp. So
yeah, everything went smooth. The road work, man, it's never fun. It's never easy, but obviously it showed that the cardio was there.
yeah, absolutely. So you're going in, right? When do they make the fight posters for you guys, or I guess like the fight? Yeah, posters. I guess when do they make that?
I think it was a couple days after I accepted the fight, then they pushed
Already
it
put
out.
it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. And you and your mindset was, okay, this is the guy I'm going to fight
Hmm.
right here on this poster. And so do you guys do it? They just take a picture of you and a picture of him and put it into the poster, or do they make you guys actually go in for to take pictures for the fight poster? How does that work?
It depends on the promotion how they do it, but for this one, they just took photos of us and I guess put them on the poster.
Okay, perfect. And the weigh-in, obviously, your first time seeing the opponent,
Hmm.
and I'm asking you this for a very specific reason, which is one of the reasons why I'll list later.
Hmm.
When you first saw your opponent, what did you think?
Man, so kind of going back to what you were saying before, I never underestimate any opponent because at the end of the day, this is a fight. Everyone's got a punching chance. So I come in there, ready to kill no matter if they're 7 feet tall or 4 feet tall. But I just remember seeing this guy and thinking, damn, this is one ugly motherfucker. Big old chin. I said, all right, there's no way that I missed that chin. But the thing that really stood out was his stomach. It almost like caved in. And I was like, oh, dude, body shots all day.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And, I just remember looking at the poster and looking at him. And I was like, it's going to be a good night.
Yep. Absolutely. So, was there any difference between the poster and what you saw in person at the weigh-in?
I mean, yeah, I think you might have saw the poster where they had like 4 or 5 girls wrapped around him.
Yeah, there's been some talk about um, we'll just say the audience. The
Yeah.
audience felt like, and maybe again, this is your point of view. Some of the audience felt like who was on the poster wasn't the person that you saw.
Hmm.
Was there any truth to that? And kind of what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, they definitely use some chat GBT, some AI to beef him up a little bit. But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, that's y'all's champ, so I
Yeah.
guess make him look as good as you want, right?
Yeah, and I think that that's so crazy because right off the rip, multiple people said that there had to be some kind of AI involved in the fight poster to alter his look. Which, if you're the fucking champion, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, size doesn't fuck. I mean, doesn't matter about the muscles, doesn't matter about how you look. But if you're purposely altering your look, it's a little weird,
Hmm.
right? You're the champ. You got the belt. You have nothing to prove, right? So, so you guys weigh in. You guys face off. When about how many hours, or I'm sure it's a day, do you guys actually step in the ring to fight, or the cage rather?
I think weigh-ins were at 11 Friday, and then I think we fought around 9 o'clock the next
Yeah, it was,
day.
it was like late, super late evening time.
Yeah, so plenty of time to rehydrate and get get your mind right.
Okay, perfect. And what's I know some fighters meditate, some fighters like to be alone, some fighters like to be, with family after the weigh-in. Kind of what do you do personally to kind of get ready for the next day?
Just eat a lot of food, drink a lot of water. When you deplete yourself with so much water, it's easy to cramp up. It's easy to, come in that ring dehydrated. And I'm just drinking water, making sure that I go into that ring at full capacity.
And I know the UFC does this. I don't know if any other promotion does this. They do not allow IVs
Hmm.
for rehydration. Is that the same for Muay Thai?
Um, at this level, I'm not. I don't. Man, IVs are expensive. They're like
Yeah.
$300. I think IVs are great for after a fight.
Mhm.
To just get all those nutrients back in your body.
Yeah.
But I ain't got the dough for that. So
Yeah, I mean they get up there, man. It's so crazy. I don't know why the UFC would ban that though, because I mean a lot of fighters were using it
yeah.
before fights, which in my opinion, yeah, as long as there's nothing in there
Hmm.
that is banned, who gives a fuck? It's
Yeah.
just hydration. It's just electrolytes. It's no different than me mixing liquid IV in a water bottle and shooting it in my vein. There's
Yeah.
no difference. But all right, so sleep. I'm very curious, right? Um, the night before the fight, you're in bed.
Hmm.
What's going through your head?
Mm, nothing too much, man. I'm just trying to visualize the fight here and there, how I see it playing out. You know, main thing is visualize the walkout. I know what song I'm coming out to. I know kind of how the area is laid out. So I'm just trying to visualize that moment so that when it does happen, I'm able to stay calm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I feel not just with fighting, but like big events, right?
Hmm.
That's important to a person. That night before, man, some guys lose it
Yeah.
right there and then. They get no sleep. You know, you could be like Ilya Taporia where you're drinking wine and celebrating already and then get your ass
Yep.
beat. Like just multiple different things, right? So I like that. And one thing I find about you, again, going back to that warrior mindset, I'm sure the audience can already kind of pick up on his mindset and what it's been now for years. One thing that I find out about you is you're a big mental guy,
Hmm.
right? As far
Absolutely.
as being calm, stay cool and collective. A lot of guys don't fucking have that. For me, especially with fighting, fuck that, dude. I'm stressing. I want to throw up the night before. It takes a very special. I'll do a lot of other things, man. I'll get into a shootout. I'll
Hmm.
do all those things, but I don't want to fight. Fuck
Yeah.
that. It's just a different breed, right? So you wake up, fight night's coming. What I'm just curious, what are you doing from the time that you wake up to, let's say, you get to the arena?
I like to almost over prepare. I stretch out, I roll out, get everything loose, jump rope, shadow box. I don't have like a set thing where it's like I need to do this, this, and this, but I know how my body feels and I know what I can do to make it feel good. And I'm just kind of just doing things to loosen me up and just keep my mind, like you said, calm.
Hmm.
Because fighting is a lot of adrenaline, it's a lot of emotion, it's a lot of and you only have so much of that in a day.
Yep.
And so the biggest thing is learning how to channel that, keep it calm until the big moment where you're able to let it loose.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know your your girl has been a huge fan. How long have you guys been? It's been a couple years already, right?
Yeah, 3.5, almost 4 years.
Yeah, nice. And I know she's also a fighter too, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know she's a big factor into your mentality. Obviously, you shared earlier a lot of behind the scenes stuff, which
Hmm.
again, shout out to her.
Shout out.
Yeah, I that's a power couple move, right? Because you have one half of, I'm gonna put in the work and get my mind ready, and then you have the other half of essentially I'm gonna help you be successful, whether it's meal prepping, being your manager, and stuff like that. So it's definitely good. So there was a lot of fights that night, if I remember correctly. There were quite a few,
Yeah.
right? So you're getting ready for the fight, and then the fight before you happens, right?
Hmm.
Now it's time to step in the cage. What on that cage walk? What's going through your mind at that point in time?
Mm, man, I'm just kind of just thinking like, man, all these people, fans, friends, family, they're here to see me,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, all right,
the
let's put
pay per
on.
view,
Yeah.
everything, and you sold almost 100 tickets,
Yeah.
if I'm correct. I know that number that you got that we talked about when you came to the house was
Mhm.
around 80, I think, but now it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
And they were what, $30 each,
Yeah,
something like
about
that.
30, 40-ish, yeah.
Yeah. So you brought in a few thousand
Mhm.
to that arena and that promotion and stuff like that. Did you notice anything weird? I guess maybe. I guess in the back room, whether it was with refs or anything like that wasn't normal. I guess. Did you notice anything?
The biggest thing was so they split us up by corners,
Mhm.
red corner and blue corner. I was in the blue corner, and obviously all the champions and the favorites were on the red. Well, man, that back room, you got the commissioning or whatever. They don't let you leave that room for whatever reason. They don't want you to take supplements
Yeah.
or whatever. They keep you in that room basically, and it's not a big room. It's real tight. There's a bunch of boxes, chairs, not a lot of room to warm up.
Yeah.
Not any room to warm up, if that.
Yeah.
Well, you go to the other side, they got a big open area. They're able to hit pads. They got fruit cups and fruits all over the area.
Yeah.
And it's a night and day difference. Like
Mhm.
you got the slums over here, and then
Yeah.
you got them living good.
Yeah. Um, that's a little weird, right? I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're a promoter or, a fighter, we're professionals. We keep it professional. Obviously from the get go, from that phone call to where we're at now with warming up in the back,
Hmm.
it seems like, again, they're trying to rush somebody to failure or hoping they lose, or kind of doing things to ensure that they lose and stuff like that.
Real quick, so there's a saying that says if you go into the fight cold, you'll leave cold. And kind of what you're hitting on is they don't really want you to get warmed up. They don't really want you to stretch and be able to hit pads freely, because they want you going into that ring cold, like you said, to set up that viral knockout.
Yep. Hmm.
Obviously they're trying to build their guys.
Yeah.
And so, but as a fighter, knowing that, you got to do the best of what you can. It ain't much room. I'm barely able to jump rope in there. But I did what I could to get warm and to make sure that when that bell rang, I was ready to go.
I think it's so fucking crazy that they do that. Because warming up is a big factor
Hmm.
into fighting and stretching and making sure you're good to go and everything. Um, did you notice that they're at this time? Did it click what they were trying to do to you at all?
Yeah, the second I walked back there, uh, it, it hit me. I knew. Um, as a fighter, I have I'm very, I don't know the word for it, but I always think they're plotting on my downfall.
Yeah.
I think the promotion's trying to set me up. Sometimes my coach is trying to set me up. So I have that mindset where it's like, okay, like these motherfuckers, they want to see me fail.
Yeah.
My first fight, I told the people I worked with, and my mindset was they're only coming because they want to see me get knocked out.
Yeah. Exactly.
And maybe it was true, maybe it wasn't, but that's my mindset. I'm always trying to see like, all right, what's the alternative motive here?
Yeah. Um, there was this story about David Goggins where he's on a run, and I guess he was running up this hill by himself, and I guess one of his fucking whatever a runner saw him,
Hmm.
and David Goggins is like, they don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you win. They don't fucking know me. And the dude's like, dude, I went up there and there's nobody up there. It's just him like talking to himself
Yeah,
mentally. And it's the same mentality. They don't want to fucking see you win.
yeah.
Yeah, obviously, it seems like this promotion kind of sets you up in many ways, not just here. Again, we'll get into the actual you're in the cage moments where there's some a little weird
Hmm.
here, right? So you're walking out, you're in the cage. What's going through your mind at this point in time of you see your opponent across the cage? What's the mindset there?
Mindset is just stay calm. 5 rounds is a long time to be in the ring with someone. Um, I trust my hands. I trust the power that I have in them. Obviously, fighting with big 16-ounce gloves and shin guards, it's a little bit harder to get that knockout. But I knew that if I stayed patient and just kept to the game plan, that eventually that it would open itself up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this is where we go into other weird coincidences, whether you want to call them that. I don't call them a coincidence. It's very obvious. So, and we have videos of all of this that
Mhm.
I'm about to talk about. Did you notice the ref before? I don't know if the announcer. I'll have to go back and look at it. Whether the announcer was announcing the fight, Did you notice the ref was like whispering in your opponent's ear for about 10 seconds? Did you notice that at all?
In the time being, I didn't notice it, but after watching the fights afterwards and running it back and seeing, I was like, okay, that's a little odd.
Yeah. And for those of you that maybe are new to combat sports or anything like that, when you're reffing, you are completely neutral. Look at boxing, look at MMA, look at wrestling. Where is the referee? They are dead smack in the middle, completely neutral, right? So for a ref to go up to an opponent, specifically to the home promotion and the champion there, and again, I'll edit the video at end so you guys can be the judge of that. But to basically like, talk to him like this for a good 10 seconds and kind of hand gesturing and stuff like that, it's a little weird. But leading up to, again, I don't know if it was before or after the ref did that, but the announcer, championship fight, right? No matter if it's MMA, Muay Thai, anything like that, they are 5 rounds.
Mhm.
They are 5 round fights. Every championship fight, right? No ifs, ands, or buts. I've never seen a 3 round championship fight in any fight promotion, whether it's UFC, One, Bellator, Fury, anything like that, right? So the announcer announced, "Hey, 5 round championship fight."
Mhm.
But we also notice, and all this it was recorded. Did you notice that your opponent kind of looked back to his cage and was kind of like more so of like, what the fuck? Like after he said 5 rounds, it seemed like he looked shocked.
Mhm.
Like he looked something wasn't making sense. Did you notice that by chance or no? It was probably after.
In the moment, no, I kind of wasn't really paying attention to all that.
Yeah.
So I didn't really notice that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I know again, I'll edit that footage in. Um, you face your opponent.
Hmm.
Talk me through the bell rings, round one. What? Tell me about that round. How you felt? Was it a good round? I mean, I know. But walk the audience and what happened that first round.
Good first round. Obviously, the dude likes to showboat. There was one kick that I landed and I fell, and he wants to, stand over me, as you guys
Yeah.
saw,
Mhm.
get a viral clip or clip farm, whatever. So that's when I knew, okay, this is what kind of fight it's gonna be.
Yep.
Um, so definitely landed some good stuff. He landed some good stuff. But I definitely feel that I took that round one and gave me good things to build on for the next round.
Absolutely. So you already know the mentality of this guy.
Hmm.
So I'm just curious. Was Did you think of the promoter after like you're all right? You're in a round one. You're in your corner. Did you make the connection that the promoter, one of them, that was in talking shit to you and in his corner,
Hmm.
and him kind of had the same style of like being a little bit disrespectful? Did you make that connection? And I'm sure you didn't, but I gotta ask, did you make that connection at the end of round one?
Mm, yeah, yeah, kind of. Obviously, watching his past fights, he does some similar stuff, but obviously, no one put the pressure on that I was able to put on him.
Hmm.
Um, but that's kind of was like, all right, like kind of all bets are off. Like it's
Yeah,
it's time to kill you.
yeah, you're getting disrespectful now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I don't know why fighters do that. I mean, I get it to a certain level, but again, all the everything that led up to this fight just
Hmm.
did not seem right. So, talk to me about the second round. What went on there?
Kind of the same thing. Starting to pick up more, landing some good shots, working the body. Obviously, being the showman he is, he wanted to act like the punches or stuff weren't phasing him. But I knew, man, 5 round fight, they're gonna add up.
Yeah, which by the way, those punches count. By the way, you can showboat all you want, but you still got hit.
Hmm.
It's still points at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I mean if that's their champion, I mean To each their own. Again,
Yeah.
I'll leave my opinion out of it until after we're done talking about this fight.
Mhm.
But you kind of know what he is, and now we get into the most controversial round. Talk to me. What was your mindset going into round three? Because this is the end of, kind of starting to enter the championship rounds a little bit. I mean, granted, championship rounds are 4 and 5, but
Yeah.
three's also very important. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, man. Third round was my best round. Felt great. I was picking up as he was starting to dwindle. And like we said earlier, keep your hands up. Well, those hands, the tired you get, they start to
Yep.
drop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when openings start to come. And, it takes, obviously, you got to build, you got to set things up. That third round, starting to add the feints, the switches, the setups. And yeah, man, things were landing good. He was biting on stuff. And I knew 4 and 5 was when we're really going to put it on him.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, typically round one, kind of all right. Get your range out there. Round two, similar, but round three is like, hey, I'm gonna start really implementing my game plan really hard.
Hmm.
So obviously, you found your range. You know where you're at. Rounds 4 and 5, you're gonna give it to them,
Hmm.
and that's usually where 4 and 5 are the rounds where
People,
100% go.
yeah.
This is our fucking game plan. Round three starting to die down. Tell me what happened after round three exactly. Was it and well, I'll let you talk about that. It's 10 seconds before round three ends. Kind of walk me through that to the what the fuck moment.
You said 10 seconds before it ends?
Yeah.
All right. So I got him on the cage. I'm, landing big combos, got him there. Giving the judges in the crowd, all right, he obviously dominated this round. We go back to the corner, and I'm got the ice. I'm getting ready for the next round. Well, I guess the ref goes over to whoever and says, "All right, that's it."
Mhm.
And we're thinking, "That's it? Like we still got 2 more rounds." And so there's a big fiasco. We're supposed to go 2 more. Supposedly the commission or however they want to play it said that they're stopping it after 3. So there was a big fuss into that. Man, I was ready to go 2 more. My coaches were, arguing with them. At the end of the day, they can say what they want. They can play it however they want. But I was told 5 rounds. The announcer said 5 rounds. I went in there with the mindset of 5 rounds, and they pulled the rug on me.
And did they give any specific reason as far as why it was cut short 2 rounds at all?
They haven't really gave a definite answer, but they've chalked it up to, well, oh, this was your first fight with the promotion. You don't have that much experience, just different things. And it's like, if that was the case, why would you have not said something before the fight?
Well, most importantly, as this promoter that you had the phone call with, why would you use that excuse when you're the one that offered him the fight?
Hmm.
And I don't understand that. It sounds like you guys bit off more than what you could chew, and your fighter lost. Um, I don't know because I was thinking about this. Can the Texas Commission do anything about this to this promotion? I don't know if you know anything, but to me, it sounds like they were trying to keep that belt within their promotion. And for them to say, well, you don't have that much experience and fucking whatever. I've never heard of that
Hmm.
ever before. And I know a lot of different fighters from many states and many promotions at many different levels. I've never heard that before whatsoever. So round ends. I guess what's the communication between you and your coaches? Like what were some words said?
Yeah, we went into the back. Um, I was a little disappointed. Um, I I felt like I still had so much left in the tank,
Hmm.
and I didn't get to showcase it all. Obviously, wanted to bring the belt back home, but with it being a draw, obviously it doesn't go that way. It was just I was just disappointed, man. Obviously, they say never let the fight go to the judges.
Yeah.
I thought I had 2 more rounds to work, so, but it was just disappointing. I felt like, I didn't the fans were let down. It's just it wasn't a fun experience.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I get you, man. I mean, all right, I gotta ask you this. And you can answer it whether you want to or not.
Mhm.
Do you feel like this fight was rigged?
Man, it's like when they talk about who's the GOAT in the sport, at the end of the day, you let the fans and,
All right, so I'm a fan, and I personally tell you, I will say, I won't let you speak on it, but I'll speak on it because I can. And I have no affiliation to any gym. I'm just a podcaster. It was rigged. That fight was 100% rigged. We have the evidence there to prove it. It's very obvious that this promotion bit off way more than what they could chew, and it backfired. So you guys had to cut this fight short off of a bullshit excuse. And since the commission was involved in this also, I think they need to understand that this is way bigger than what they think, right? Because now if you have a commission and a promotion rigging fights,
mhm.
how do you think the state of Texas is going to feel about that? If we submit this evidence, because it's a bullshit ass excuse, right? From the very beginning of the phone call that you mentioned to, you know, the disrespectfulness, the opponent being disrespectful, to the videos we have of the ref, to them calling the fight for no reason. It is 100% rigged. I have never seen any combat sports fight that ended that way. And it's very, very upsetting. And I don't like that. And I know we kind of talked about, so, when I was in the military, I couldn't really speak on
Mhm.
certain things. My freedom of speech is very limited, right? However, I think not only did they fuck up and rig the fight and fuck you over, but they also decided to fuck with somebody that his brother has thousands thousands of followers and hundreds of millions of views on social media. So, of course, that's why we'll go into this um, before I get into these next two questions. What is your game plan now? So, because the announcer at the end of the fight, from what I've been told by people that were there, said, "Hey, great fight. Who wants to see it again?"
Mhm.
So they're already planning for a rematch to happen, and I think I know why. The amount of tickets that you sold.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, I don't think he sold that many.
I don't even think he sold half that many.
Yeah, I don't think he sold that at all from multiple people
Mhm.
that were there, and I think what it could possibly be is a money grab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, because I mean, fuck, you do. Let's do 30 times 80 right now on the phone. Let's see, 30 times 80. Oh, my dumbass. Times 80. That's $2,400, right? And their tickets were about 30 to 40 bucks, depending on which ones you got.
Mhm.
But you sold more than 80, which we've recently found out. How much, I don't know exactly. But let's cut it at an even 80.
Okay.
All right, you brought in a few thousand. And I think that's partially why they want a fucking rematch.
Mhm.
It is another money grab. Um, and it's a shame. So that's why, we were having this conversation earlier. When they deleted my comment on Instagram, when I told them, hey, shadiest fight promotion in the entire country that I've ever heard of
Yeah.
or knew somebody that fought in there, they deleted my comment. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but
Yeah.
if you have nothing to hide, don't delete my comment.
Yeah.
Super simple. What is your, going back to it, game plan now? Is a rematch possible? Do you want to go fight for them, or do you feel like, hey man, like you guys are just gonna rig it again, or maybe under another promotion? How does that work?
So it is a little bit of a tricky balance. Obviously, with the promoter and a fighter, it's almost like that employee employer relationship where obviously they need us, but then again, we need them. So it's that balance. Um, Obviously, I proved that I can whoop this boy.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter, man. Whether you want to fight in the cage or on the street,
Mm.
I'm with it. Um, the little bit of leverage that they do have is the fact that it's for a belt.
Yeah.
That's the like every fighter wants to collect the belts, but then at the end of the day, like I said, man, it's I don't really care. Like I don't really care about the belts. It's about the experience,
Yeah.
giving the glory to God. Um, yeah, I feel like it's a chapter unclosed because I didn't get to really put the beating on him that I would have liked. I didn't get to finish him. So there's a part of me that does wanna, that does want that. But then again, we're fighting with big gloves and shin guards. It's like, come on, bro. Like this, what is this? The Weenie Hut Junior Festival?
Yeah, because you said you would want to fight. You feel like it's better to fight without all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
No shin guards. Let's take off the shin guards. Let's go down on the size of the gloves.
Yeah. Because
Let's
how many ounces are the?
16 ounces. And for people that don't know, is you spar in
Yeah,
16
those are
ounces.
training gloves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's training gloves. You fight in typically 10s, 12s, maybe even 8s.
Yeah.
So it's a it's a padded up fest. And if you want to build this fight, if you want the fans to really get behind it, let's take off the training wheels and let's go no shin guards.
No, I agree, and I feel like now, granted, they do have leverage, which I don't think that should be. It's a shame that it's a thing,
Hmm.
but I feel like what you have is somebody that can get eyes on what happened, right? Because I know at that point it kind of turns political. You can't really say what you want to say, but
Hmm.
I can because I have no affiliation to any of those gyms, right? But I'd like to see that rematch, and I'd like to see it done in a neutral ground. I don't know. I would not like Lone Star. Was it Lone Star Fight Promotion to promote that fight? I feel like now you went to their promotion. Now they have to come to your promotion. And if you're so confident in your champion that you have that all he does is showboat, then you should have no problem coming to another promotion and fighting for the belt. And I think that's what it boiled down to is they did not want that belt to be gone from their promotion.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that fighter, but I could see the mindset that they have as far as, you know, things like that. Very
Yeah.
unfortunate, but I'd like to see it. Um, I know they're probably watching.
Hmm.
I'm going to clip this and put this on my Instagram. I mean, I already, got Lone Star people looking at me.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to your opponent or to that promoter?
Yeah, I mean, if the demand's there, the fans want to see it. Like I said, obviously I know they're gonna try to pull some behind the scenes stuff again.
Mm.
But let's go no shin guards and let's make it a real fight.
Well, there you have it, Lone Star. I'd like to see it. Make that happen and see who really is the best. So you brought this up, and we're kind of at the tail end of the podcast now. You wanted to show that you're a regular guy,
Hmm.
right? Obviously, the name up here, the regular show, multiple different reasons, which I already explained on my social media. We're just regular guys.
Yeah.
That is it. Nothing separates. There's no major differences. We're not these guys that grew up a certain way or, you know, fucking whatever, right? We're not Richie Rich around here. We're just regular dudes.
Hmm.
So what do you, I know you want to talk about what you're doing now, which I'm very kind of interested in. So what are you doing now specifically for work?
So yeah, that's the big question, man. Even me when I fight people, that's always like, man, I wonder what they do for work.
Yeah.
Because it's a rigorous lifestyle, but how are you able to balance that with the day to day?
Hmm.
Me, I'm in building automation, and I love it, man. I love my company. I love the guys I work with. It's good because it's not so much physically demanding, it's more mentally. So I'm able to put in a hard day of work and still come to training and train hard.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely so go more into that. What does that entail? If you had to give a summary on your job, what does that look like?
Basically controlling schools, offices. Every classroom has, a thermostat, and making sure that each classroom is hitting the demand that whether the teacher or the students to make them feel the most comfortable. Obviously, living in Texas, it gets real hot,
Yeah.
so just making sure that people are in a comfortable environment.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Texas, man, it's so crazy how fast we're expanding because the city that we lived in, right? Look at, I mean, do you remember where the hill was? There was
Hmm.
nothing back there. Now we have like four schools within a mile and a half of each other. We got, major companies moving here. They're thinking about making a fucking, I don't know if you heard about the AI,
Oh yeah,
the AI data center over here, which I
yeah,
think is fucking stupid.
5G radiation, all that.
Oh my god, just they want to do it by the lake
Hmm.
too, which obviously we would go to the lake all the time.
Hmm.
Shitty rock.
Shitty rock, yeah.
um, actually, yeah, let's get into that. Tell 'em why we named that part of the lake Shitty Rock.
Man, so we'd always go down there to fish, big old catfish. The last time we were out there, we caught a 28 pounder. But obviously, you're fishing, kind of near the dam on the rocks. It's where you catch, the biggest fish. And well, being out there ain't no bathrooms, ain't no porta potties. So if you got to do your thing, it's right there. And one of our brothers, man, he couldn't hold it no more. And he's lucky we had some toilet paper in the
Yep.
toolbox. But he did his thing right there, and from that day we called it Shitty Rocks.
Yeah, dude, and it going back to it, it's just so sad that they want to put. I think they're saying that it could be the size of five super WalMarts.
Oh
This data center,
yeah,
and it uses in a day millions and millions of gallons of water to
yeah,
cool it off, and then they show like data centers before and after, and like all these water spots that they were using this water from droughted,
yeah,
like dried out. And to me, why the fuck do we need that?
hmm,
Especially here in the city that we're at
yeah.
and the city over that they kind of want to build it on the border. For fucking what? For what? Again, all this used to be, I mean, why? The city that we live in used to be country.
It was a small town,
Yeah, it
but
was a very small town. And now it's a massive, massive city. And it's kind of sad to see. I hate it.
yeah.
So I know you said you did juicing stuff,
Hmm.
not the steroids, people, actual shakes, but you do,
Secret juice.
yeah, the secret juice, the fucking Paulo Costa freaking juice.
Yeah,
Um, Tell me more about that. How did you kind of get into that? I know you hook up a few people and you kind of started your own little
yeah.
side business on that.
It started for one fight. Obviously the weight cutting. You got to portion size. Your meals get smaller. But I found out about juicing, and obviously your body is able to digest liquid faster than food. And it was started with me being able to drink something where I can still get those nutrients in, those vitamins, but have it flush out of my system faster. And obviously, watermelon, pineapple, things like that taste amazing. So you're cutting weight, but you're still having an enjoyable experience.
Yep.
And just I don't know, it just came on a whim. My girlfriend was like, "Hey, maybe you should sell some juice."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "You know what? That's not a bad idea."
Yep. Uh huh.
Started at the gym, selling it here and there. Word got around. Now, anytime I go to events or fights, people always say, "Hey, you got the juice? You got the juice?" And it just kind of became who I am.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, and where can people? I mean, I'll we'll share your Instagram here in a bit, but I'll make sure to tag your Instagram and obviously the bio and everything that I posted on. I'm sure
Mhm.
people. Is it cool if people hit you up,
Yeah,
especially like around the DFW area that we're in? Is
yeah.
that okay?
Like you said, man. At the end of the day, we're just regular people.
Yeah.
Um, whether you want to have a conversation, talk about something, talk about life. come up to me, man. I'm a cool dude, and hopefully I can instill some motivation or some inspiration in you.
Yep, absolutely. I like that for sure. Like I said, I to sum up this interview, I wanted to show like there was a couple different reasons why I did it, right? I mean, the military podcast style, obviously, you guys can tell, very military. However, I wanted to show that we're just regular dudes and you don't have to be an 11 Bravo, you don't have to be a Ranger, you don't have to be SF guys to be a warrior, right? And to caveat off that, the regular show, we're just regular guys and that's it, who just, some of us hold some extreme passions and have a story about it, right? I know a lot of 11 Bravos that don't have that mentality of getting after it. And then we have a guy here who wants to get after it in anything that he has ever done, right? So I wanted to show that. But there was also another reason too. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it sell on social media. There's a lot of corny fucking military podcasts and TikTokers that are just like, what are you doing? They're bashing each other. They're doing all this shit. I don't like it. I'd rather it be like, hey, you know, like we're at a bar having a beer.
Hmm.
Um, which is going to lead me into these next final questions. What do you think about the Dustin Poirier situation that just happened recently at the airport?
Man, Dustin Poirier, bro, he used to be one of my favorite fighters growing up. He's gritty. He's from the South, and it is sad to see, man. As fighters, we don't get the the care that we need afterwards. Obviously, CTE is a real thing.
Hmm.
It's a real thing, man. I didn't understand it until I started fighting.
Yep.
So obviously, drinking and things like that don't help. I hope that he can stay on the right path, find Jesus, and do good in the world, because there's a lot of people that look up to him. He's got a lot of good charities. I just wish the best for him, man. I know obviously he's going through a rough time right now, but I wish the best for him.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about Dustin, right? On a side note, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Imagine you're a cop, you open a door,
Yeah.
and it's Dustin Poirier telling you it's going to be bad and to call all the backup that he needed.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing I like about Dustin is he came out immediately after and was like, "Yeah, I fucked up.
Hmm.
I shouldn't have done that. I was fucked up. I wasn't in the right place. Um, yeah, I want to, thank the cop. I want to apologize to him. He accepted it. He didn't go into hiding
Yeah.
or anything like that. He was like, yeah, I fucked up. And I feel like, fuck, dude. I mean, you remember that graduation party for one of our brothers that I came to, fresh off of 9 months not drinking,
Hmm.
made a complete fool of myself, blacked out, everything. And at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, I fucked up. I probably should not have drank that much, 9 months sober.
Yeah.
Right. Funny story. But obviously, we got the World Cup final today. Who you taking?
Man, this has been the year of upsets that we've seen. Ilya losing, Chimaev losing.
Yep.
The list goes on. I want to say Spain takes it, but with Argentina having the refs on their side and their poster boy Messi, I think they'll probably be the winners tonight.
So, to put that into perspective, um, Lone Star fight, Lone Star fighting is pretty much like Argentina.
Yeah.
We're gonna cheat. we're gonna pay the refs. And actually, now that I see Argentina play and Messi play, which I was so excited to see Messi for, obviously it's probably his last World Cup.
Yeah.
This is gonna be controversial. I don't think he's as good as what people say, and there's gonna be some reasoning to that, right? I'm not just gonna say that. I feel like with every team that you go to, Argentina's under investigation right now with the FBI for
Hmm.
money laundering, racial stuff. Obviously, I don't know how they're the most aggressive team in the entire world, and they don't have that many fouls compared to
Yeah.
other people. I mean, fuck, last game, when they played England, one of the Argentinians literally punched one of the English players in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened. Um, and then FC Barcelona a few years ago got in trouble for paying like $2 million to the refs. And then what did Messi get in trouble for in like 2017? Tax evasion.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if every team you go to is under investigation and it's well known that you guys cheat, you're not to go. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you're not great at all. Especially, I feel like it should be like basketball. If I foul you, you're the one shooting the free throws.
Yeah.
In soccer, it's not that way. They're
Yeah.
always going to pick Messi to kick the penalty,
Mm-hmm.
to kick the free kicks, to kick the corner kicks. So of course you're going to have a fluffed up record.
Yeah.
Right. It's no different than LeBron James. If you stay in long enough, you will surpass Michael Jordan. But Jordan did it in a better manner than LeBron. So that's why I don't have Messi as a GOAT. That's why I want them to lose. But again, like Lone Star fucking fight, whatever the fuck their name is, I'll tag them. It's like Argentina. You can't win against the refs.
Yeah.
So, all right. Is there anything else that you would like the audience to know, where to find you, your Instagram, any coaches you would like to shout out, any final words before we close this out?
Yeah, guys, if you've made it this far into the podcast, thank you. You have an attention span larger than a goldfish. Thank you for the support. I love each and every one of you guys, even the haters, man, because at the end of the day, y'all still buying tickets.
Yep. And that's it.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Sal_Heradia. Follow me there. Follow the journey. If you want to get some juice, DM me. I do deliver. People that I want to shout out to Danny Hines from DFW Combat Co. Man, a lot of this couldn't have been done without you. You're a big part in my journey, and I thank God. I thank you for the opportunities you've given me. So thank you, sir. Thank you to my coaches, my girlfriend. Thank you for having me on, man. This was my first podcast, and I'm glad that it could have been done with you.
Yep.
You know, so it's a good experience, and yeah, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment, let you know if you want me to come back.
Yep.
And at that, yeah, I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I know Lone Star's gonna watch this. Specifically with me kind of clipping them into the podcast Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tag them too. This is a open invite for the rematch. I'd like to see it. There is a lot of people that would like to see it. His team would like to see it, and I'm sure you guys would like to see it. Hopefully. But yeah, we're gonna close this thing out. I'll make sure to tag your gym,
Mm-hmm.
any coaches or friends that you referenced, and then yourself, where people know. And if that fight does happen, yeah, why not? Love to have you back. Freaking show up, take videos, and see where we're at. Because I don't think this guy's really a champion, to be honest with you. But anyways, we already covered that. Alrighty, guys, that was episode 2 of the regular show. I really appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate Sal making the drive out here. And we will see you guys next time.